And hello, Daredevil fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Zone TV Movie Entertainment with me, your host Jonathan, once again bringing you my thoughts and review for last night's season finale of Daredevil Season 2, Episode 8. So, if you guys have not seen this episode, buckle up, spoilers ahead. If you have not seen this episode, I'm letting you know now, and also go back and watch it because honestly, this episode was just like, wow. Also, congratulations to everybody involved in this season. Very hard to make a show and movie as well. Also, where's our trailer, Marvel? I will continue saying that until we get the Avengers Infinity Doomsday trailer. So, there you go. So, Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 8. We're down to the wire, folks. This is the last episode of the season. And, yeah, this episode did not disappoint me. First of all, we're at the point now where Fisk, he's already lost everything, he lost everything, he's still the mayor, and he feels like, what, let me just punish one person, maybe it makes me feel better. So we have this whole court thing with Karen, obviously being a partner or an accomplice to a vigilante and all that stuff, trying to stick it to her, trying to stick it to Daredevil as well. And then, of course, the court continues with 3 judges. Still, I don't understand why that's a thing. And that's like my only nitpick about this show. Like, why 3 judges? But anyway, even though I know the whole court system here is a farce because Fisk controls everything. But anyway, so Matt Murdock is back. And, you figure he's, gonna do things. So he decides to bring in Fisk as a witness, as a ask questions kind of a person. So figure maybe he'll slip up, say something that will incriminate him, because the governor is trying to get him out of office. We already know what happened to a lot of people from the boat incident. White Tiger's uncle's gone. BB's uncle is also gone. Heck, Danny from his office is also gone now. So Fisk is now on the witness stand to talk, and maybe Matt can convince him to incriminate himself. But we're all thinking, oh, don't do it because it might incriminate you because he knows your secret as Daredevil. But the tables get turned because Matt Murdock decides, what, it's time for the whole world to find out who I am and why I did this. So he had the evidence. If you guys remember the episode when they rescued everybody, all the supposed people who disappeared and went into those cages, including Swordmaster, and he found one of those crew members who was on the ship the night that the ship sank, and they had their orders. He outed Fisk as the man who behind the mission, and of course he said, oh yeah, Daredevil did not sink the ship. Daredevil was there, did not sink the ship. So the video shows that Fisk was the one who orchestrated this whole thing because, smuggling weapons into the city was not a good thing. We also get to see that, yeah, even though they had the video proof, that wasn't enough. So Daredevil, Matt was like, you know what, fine. I want to call Daredevil to the stand and let him be the witness that shows this crime. And of course, he outs himself as Daredevil. There's even a great scene where not only does he out himself as Daredevil, he literally proves it by throwing his sticks, and his sticks go, from the wall to wall and back to him, which is like, wow. People who thought he was just a regular blind guy, he's like, nope, not anymore. And then from there, they just completely outed Fisk as who he is, as a deviant, psychopathic, crazy person. And of course, the courts decide, you know what, Karen's innocent, poof. And, you figure with Karen being innocent, being free from jail, that would stop Kingpin or maybe have him go back a little bit, maybe go into hiding a little bit. Nope. And he continues to refuse to give up his seat as the mayor until the attorney general has to get involved and is like, hey, listen, we know about your crimes now. If you do not give up your seat as the mayor of New York City, if you give it up now, we'll let everything slide, including your murders, and you can just disappear. But you have to disappear and leave New York City. Of course, Fisk did not take that lightly because he can't lose being the mayor. That's all he has left. He lost his wife. He lost Vanessa. he damaged that painting of his and Vanessa's that reminds him of him and Vanessa's relationship. And now he's lost the mayorship. And he literally goes into a freaking rampage by the end of it, when the mob of people dressed as Daredevil, colors storm town hall, or the the mayor's office. And he just starts brutally beating everybody to a pulp by himself, single-handedly, blood getting into his suit, this and that, and it just goes bananas from there. And you just see the mob of everybody. You even see the task force try to convince the people, like, get back, we still work with this guy, but whatever you want to think about. And of course the cops have to get involved, but the cops have always been kind of like, yeah, should we get involved? But now they're finally getting to a stand where it's time for us to make a stand with the city, to take back the city. And I thought that stuff was great. Jessica Jones was in this episode too, so they got to see some cool hallway fight scenes. As always great seeing that. That was fantastic. But I really love the fact about this episode, the way it ends, was just the way, or Fisk's ending in this episode was the fact that, he's getting beat up to a pulp by, the people of New York. They're sick and tired of hearing the lies. Instead of just like going for justice, they decided to go for vengeance and then just go ham on him, like literally ham on him. Starts, mob from this way and mob from this way, mob from this way. They all come at him all at once. And he's fighting them off like ninjas, and like, he's trying to squat them off of him. And they just dogpile him and try to, beat him to a pulp. And then, of course, you see Matt just like, this is not justice, this is not vengeance, this is not right. And he just tries to shield Kingpin. And I loved how it kind of feels like a boxing match in a way. If you look at it really closely, you see these two heavyweights that just went 12 rounds, and they're both on their knees and they're both exhausted, they're both tired. And Matt just like, listen, just give it up, just leave, just start over, just go somewhere, start your life over again, just leave. You don't need this. He doesn't need this. This whole battle between the two of them, they keep butting their heads, but nobody's moving. Nobody's been moving. Yes, they both lost casualties on both sides. Matt lost Foggy, Kingpin lost Vanessa, but they keep butting heads and they're just not moving. They're not doing anything. They just keep doing it, but they're just stale still, So just to see all that was just incredible. And the fact that Matt was like kind of showing him a little bit of mercy in here. If you guys remember the episode of, I think it was episode 5, where, he was struggling to like, oh, should I forgive Bullseye for what he did to Foggy? What should I do? But he decided to realize that he can give him forgiveness, but he could give him mercy, because if you look at mercy as a forgiveness kind of a thing, it's not really forgiving somebody. It's more of like, okay, I'm giving you the door. I open the door for you to kind of find your new path. And that's exactly what he was doing for Fisk. He gave him mercy. He could have just beat him up to a pulp. Again, he could have done that. But no, he gave him mercy. He's like, listen, just leave. Be free. Just leave. Don't worry about New York. I'm here, but just don't worry about it. Let me deal with it. Heal your pain. Leave. And hopefully maybe one day Fisk can come back as a better person. Not a great person, but maybe a little bit more better, righteous person than he normally is. But yeah, I thought that stuff was great. Seeing Jessica Jones again in here is great too. Seeing the two of them fight with each other, her and Daredevil, was awesome. You also get to see Heather. If you guys remember Heather, Heather was Matt's girlfriend from the first season, the therapist. When her jaw kind of went like, what? Matt Murdock is Daredevil? I slept with Daredevil, kind of a thing. And then by the end time we saw the ending of her character, she's going to the dark side, guys. I hate to say this, but Heather is going into the Muse universe, and she's about to become the new Muse. So I thought that's kind of like, no, don't make her Muse. But she's lost it. I'm pretty sure she's also gonna go after Karen for taking Matt from her, and maybe also go after Matt for not really saving her on time and making her be this person and having this trauma in her head. So yeah, so Heather's gonna be probably Muse maybe the next season if, you know, if she's a part of it, but we shall see there. But yeah, we also get to see the return of Luke Cage in here, and he says that him and I forgot his name, but Matthew Lillard's character, you know, their arrangement is over. Now apparently he's got a new guy, because if you guys know, Matthew Lillard's character in the show, he's been helping Fisk, he's been helping everybody, but he's also kind of been working with Valentine. If you guys know who she is from Thunderbolts and Avengers stuff, he's been working for her, government style, and now he's got a new guy on his team. He's got Bullseye with him, so that could set up something. Who knows? We shall see. Maybe another Thunderbolts team, because there are multiple versions of the Thunderbolts, so that could be something. But yeah, and then of course the way it ends was just seeing Matt surrendering and giving up and going to jail. Matt goes to jail to answer for all his crimes, and he's no longer a lawyer. You know, he's no longer a lawyer. I mean, even if he gets out, I'm pretty sure he's done with being a lawyer. This also happened in the comics as well, so I thought that was interesting. But yeah. And now that Luke Cage is back, we're probably gonna get inspiration from Luke Cage becoming the mayor of New York City, and him like kind of like outlawing vigilantes in the city. So that could be a thing for the next season. We don't know. Who knows? I mean, he's still technically a crime boss in a way, because if you guys remember the last season of Luke Cage, he kind of took over that club and for Cottonmouth, and you know, he became technically the crime boss of Harlem in a way, but he's doing it in a different way than normal. But who knows where that will lead? But we shall see. Hopefully, we'll see Danny return as well. Maybe they'll fight the Hand. Apparently, the Hand is gonna be in Spider-Man. So maybe Matt ends up getting out of jail to help him out. Who knows? Maybe Iron Fist is going to be in it too. We just don't know. But yeah, overall, this episode was great. This whole season was fantastic. Just seeing the struggles between not only Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk in here is just crazy. None of them would just give in for what, you know, against the other, because, you know, either way, both of them end up losing. And they both technically kind of won and also lost at the same time. Fisk got away with his freedom, but he lost everything. Matt beat the bad guy. You know, he finally got justice for everything, you know. But he lost his sanctuary. His sanctuary, everybody thinks, oh yeah, his sanctuary is church. It's always, you know, that's his backstory, obviously. But his sanctuary will always be the courtroom. That's technically his real church in a way, you know. He goes there, and he kind of kept that promise to Foggy, where he's like, yeah, we need to do the justice system the right way. You know, he kind of did, by not only beating Fisk, you know, throughout the courts, even though the courts weren't really the courts, but still, you know, he was able to do that. He was also able to lock himself up for the crimes that he committed as Daredevil. So we shall see where it goes from there. He leaves Karen at the end, so that's interesting. Obviously, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are back together with their kid, so that's great. And of course, Heather is going to become the new Muse, so that should be something interesting for the next season. Depends on where they're going to go, whether they bring in the Hand, maybe they're bringing back Elektra, which, by the way, she needs to come back, hopefully. Luke Cage could become the new mayor of the city for the next season. Who knows? Danny's supposedly coming back in the next season as well. I'm not sure about Punisher or how this season will end. Now that it ended and Matt's in jail, how is that the crimes are going to get crazier? Because if you guys remember the last season, all the crime bosses were like, let's go hiding, because the Fisks were like in charge and in power. But now that they're both gone, the crime could go back up, and that could lead into Punisher one last kill. So that's going to be interesting to see, and that can also lead into Spider-Man, maybe even having us see how Tombstone gets involved. Tombstone also becoming a crime boss as well. You know, maybe they'll bring in what's his name, Alistair Smythe, you know, all the other big crime bosses. I mean, Silvermane could be a big, you know, problem for Spider-Man if they decide to do that, or even Daredevil if they want to use it. Kingpin's probably gonna come back. He ended up in a beach by himself, so he made look like he has paradise. But in my opinion, the way they kind of shot the episode where he's staring at the lightness of the beach kind of feels like he's in purgatory, where he's like kind of like in peace, but he's also being punished for what he's done. So it could be something like a little bit of that. So that's kind of interesting. While Matt's in jail, but he has that, he's not disappointed that he's in jail. He's not angry that he's in jail. He's more like, he's kind of like, yeah, I done what I done and I'm ready to do what I have to do here. So now he can change the justice system from the inside, even though he's technically not a lawyer anymore. But yeah, I think things about to go down in some jail cells in the next season. And plus, half the task force, I'm pretty sure, are going to be there as well once the official justice system comes back to normal. But we have to wait and see where that leads. But yeah, season 2 was great. I think my only real negatives about this season, was the fact that, I kind of wish we got to see, as much as, I love how they treat Matt's powers. Kind of wish we would have got to see it. Like him hearing people's heartbeats. I kind of wish we got to see like a foreshadow of like a heartbeat and an echo thing just going, as the audience seeing that, oh yeah, that person's heart rate's going, super fast. Only Matt can see it. Only Matt can hear it. Stuff like that. That would have been kind of interesting to see. Also, I kind of wish that Foggy didn't die, but yeah. Apparently, a lot of people think he's not really dead, that he's gonna come back. Who knows? That's also part of the comic book as well. So maybe by the next season, maybe the Hand brings him back. Who knows? I think the Hand brings him back, and then in the comic, I think it's the Hand. So we shall see. But yeah, overall, this was a great season. I really love this show. I think Daredevil. I think Charlie Cox's Daredevil just got better as the show went more, kept going, and so did Vincent D'Onofrio as well. They both did a hell of a job playing their characters, and we shall see. Now you're probably wondering, oh, what about his secret identity? I'm pretty sure that's gonna get wiped off once the new reset Marvel happens, where everybody gets reset. I mean, we'll probably still get Charlie Cox as Daredevil moving forward after Secret Wars, but I'm pretty sure his secret identity is revealed, gonna be wiped out, because I just don't see them having all these superheroes where their identities revealed is gonna be a thing. I think when we get a new Iron Man, I don't think Iron Man's identity is gonna be revealed and also, but who knows? But we shall see. But either way, this was a great season. I'm excited that season 3 is coming. I don't know where it's gonna end up going. You got so many different opportunities. You got Luke Cage, that could be Mayor. You got the gang wars that could start from Punisher. Now, from here to Punisher, and obviously Spider-Man, and of course it could lead to season 3. You have Muse, the new Muse coming back, so she could be a threat. The Hand could be a threat. Maybe that's why Iron Fist is back in the new seasons. But yeah, either way, it should be interesting to see him. And I also want to know, like, what do you guys think is going to happen with Kingpin? How do you think he's going to come back? Do you think, in the comics, he gets a new family, and then he ends up losing that family because of the Hand. So maybe they'll take inspiration of that too. Who knows? We shall see. Maybe he finds out that Heather's the Muse and he gets pissed off about it. Who knows? So, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys thought about Daredevil Season 2, Episode 8. The season finale. Did you guys enjoy it? Not enjoy it? What was the big shocker for you? For me, the big shock was the fact that Matt was the one to reveal himself as Daredevil, not the other way around. Because I thought he'll try to convince Kingpin to reveal his identity, thinking that, people would think that he's crazy instead of the other way around. But yeah, that's my only big whoo, that was nuts. But still, great season. So leave a comment below, let me know. Stay tuned for more. Thank you very much, and have a good day.